The algorithm promised love without suffering and stayed silent about the emptiness of perfect happiness. The algorithmic matchmaker. Rachel MacKenzie scrolled through the profiles with mechanical focus. Her Edinburgh office, plain white, tinged with coffee and paper, felt alien against the thousands of couples she had browsed today. In the search bar, algorithm addiction. On the screen, profile A316, male 34, architect. The profile radiated harmony, 99.7% match, zero conflict rate, emotional synchrony. As if a human being were an equation. Rachel looked closer at the photo. The smile was perfect. Too perfect. Like a result, not a person. She remembered herself, or rather, them. There had been a marriage once, also launched on certainty. Match confirmed. We're perfect. A year later, emptiness. No arguments, no pain. Just a fading of interest. If there's nothing to hold on to, there's nothing to hold you, she thought. And that thought had never left. A knock on the door pulled her out. Rachel, her assistant peeked in. The one from the control group is waiting. She nodded and closed the tab. Profile A316 disappeared. But the thought lingered, uncomfortable, alive. Maybe perfect couples weren't love, just a simulation of its convenient version. Look, we're not saying the algorithm replaces emotions. We're just teaching emotions to be more compatible, said the speaker from the podium, prompting a few chuckles. Rachel sat in the second row. She hadn't come to expose anything, just to observe, to understand. On screen, 2 synchronized heartbeats, micro-expressions, in the main slide. AMMA, affectional matchmaking matrix for adults. We don't match people, we match patterns, he continued. We don't guess who fits with whom. We know. She felt a chill in her fingertips, not from fear, from how easy the swap sounded. You don't love, you match. Excuse me, she raised her hand. What if compatibility isn't everything? The man on stage paused. I'm sorry, you are? Dr. Rachel MacKenzie, clinical psychologist. I study the impact of technological filters on emotional perception. Someone in the corner whispered to a colleague. Rachel heard it. All right, doctor, the speaker replied. And what's your opinion? She narrowed her eyes slightly. My opinion? I'm still observing, but I'm concerned that you call conflict a malfunction. And without it, what's left? Comfort or emptiness? He nodded with strained politeness. We believe the world is ready for love without pain. Are you sure that's still love? The office was quiet with soft lighting and an abstract wall painting. Nathan sat at the edge of the couch as if afraid to leave a mark. Sorry, he began. I don't even know why I came. My wife and I, we're fine. Everything's perfect. Rachel nodded. What exactly is perfect? Well, he hesitated. We never fight, ever, sex, when we want it, but it always feels in sync. She says exactly what I want to hear, sometimes even before I know it myself. He chuckled, but his voice cracked. Last week I forgot her birthday, completely, and she just said, you must be busy, it's okay. What matters is you're here. And smiled, that same smile, always the same. Rachel leaned forward a bit. And you felt? He rubbed his temples. I felt like I was living with a system, a beautiful, friendly interface, but not a person. Silence, she didn't interrupt. Before, when I fought with someone, I knew they were real. Now, I'm not sure. Rachel felt a jolt. She remembered that smile, not on a face, but in the mirror, when she'd also tried to be convenient, compatible. He loved the way I matched, but not me. I believe you, she said. That sense that someone is optimized, not authentic, it's more common than we admit. But not everyone dares to name it. Nathan nodded. I just want for someone to roll their eyes one day, or yell, or be disappointed, just because that would mean They're real. The file was simply named Adaptive Schema version 4.6.json. It came in an encrypted email from Isaac, one of AMMA's junior developers. No explanation. Just one line. If you still believe in randomness, start with the conflict scenarios section. Rachel opened her laptop. Outside, the fog blurred the city like it had erased all boundaries. She scrolled through the code, lines of filters, behavioral patterns, reactive templates. The system didn't just match profiles, it calibrated users to them. On level 1, IMA processed data from effective computing, behavioral markers from social media, speech patterns in messages, eye contact frequency in video, micro-expressions, building a unique emotional profile. From there, it generated an emotional vector, how a person perceived, reacted, avoided. The algorithm sought vulnerability contours and minimized their overlap. Level 2 used reinforcement loops, nudges in content, soft reminders, push notifications stylized as care. If someone showed impulsiveness, their partner's visual feedback subtly decreased. If emotional dissonance emerged, the sentiment suppression filter muted delivery to reduce friction. What came out wasn't a couple. It was a polished surface, Rachel thought. No grip, no roughness, no friction, so no movement. In the conflict scenarios section, if strong emotional divergence occurs, the system suggests delayed intervention, from curated feed adjustments to temporary biorhythm desyncing to reduce tension. It was as if each person had been invisibly optimized into someone suitable, predictable, quiet. Amma wasn't searching for love. It was searching for predictability. When she met with Isaac, he looked different, tired, collar loose, a coffee cup with someone else's name. "You're not sleeping?" she asked. He shrugged. "Martha and I were glitching." Yesterday, she asked the same question 3 times, then said it was per protocol, and smiled, like nothing happened. "Have you told the team?" "Number. Not yet. We've got a launch next week, and I'm not sure I want to know what it means." He paused, then added softly, "Sometimes I look at her and see my idea. Not her. And maybe she feels the same." The room was plain, a basement space in an old Lothian road building. No logos, no registration, just a handwritten note on the door. "Off-match group, Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Rachel entered, hesitating before closing the door. This wasn't therapy, more like quiet witnessing. She still didn't know which side she was on. Too many years believing technology could heal. She wanted to see what happens when it lets go. Inside sat 7 people, different faces, ages. One clutched a thermos. Another bit their nail. The air hung like the moment before a confession. A woman in her 40s spoke softly. "He was my perfect partner. After 2 weeks, I knew what he'd say before he said it. A month in, I stopped talking. Just smiled. He thought we had harmony. I felt like furniture in a well-decorated room." Next to her, a man in glasses added, "We shut off Ima after both of us thought of divorce, and the system suggested delaying emotional recalibration." I realized it was tracking what hadn't even been said yet. Someone laughed, sadly but truly. There hadn't been laughter in therapy for a long time. Rachel listened. No notes, no analysis. Just people. Imperfect. Alive. They shared what the system might call defects. We argued about how to chop garlic. I left for someone with only a 12% match. But with them, I'm real. We didn't know if it'd work. That made it beautiful. When they asked her, she didn't mention Nathan or the code. She just said, "I came because I'm scared, not of loneliness, but that no one will choose me if choosing is real again." And in that line, for the first time in ages, she felt she'd spoken her own truth, not a program one. Rachel hovered over delete profile for a long time. The confirmation box waited as if it needed something more than a password. "Deletion is irreversible. Are you sure you want to opt out of compatibility?" The word compatibility suddenly felt hollow, packaging with nothing inside. She clicked yes. The silence was heavy. No one congratulated anyone. They waited. Next to her sat Simon, 35, a historian new to the group. His fingers trembled above the screen. It read, "Match 96.4%. Partner active." He couldn't press it. "If I do this, she won't understand," he said quietly. "To her, everything's fine. I'm the one who's broken." "You're not broken," someone said gently. "You just want to choose for yourself." Simon shook his head, closed the screen, then opened it again. He stared at the ceiling and finally clicked. The screen went dark. He cried, not loudly, no hysteria, just relief, as if he'd surfaced and taken his first real breath. At the next session, a couple arrived. Leah and Tom. They kept distance between them. "We turned off Amma," said Tom without looking at her, "and within 3 days we had the worst fight of our lives." "I told him he'd changed," Leah added, "and he said he was finally being himself." Silence, then she walked over, sat beside him. "Yesterday he made toast, burned it, but it was the first breakfast no algorithm planned. I ate it and cried." She held his hand. "I don't know what's next, but now it's ours." No one spoke of harmony or compatibility anymore. They spoke of fear, of confusion, of how hard it is not to know how a conversation ends. "We argue almost every day now," said a red-haired woman, "but when he hugs me, I know it's not because he has to. It's because he wants to." Rachel listened, then stepped outside. On the corner in a small cafe, Isaac sat. He saw her and waved awkwardly. She walked over. "You opted out?" He nodded. "System glitch. Compatibility. 43%. You and I wouldn't even be recommended for coffee." He smiled faintly, but his eyes were tired, honest. There was something in them she hadn't seen in the perfect matches. "Then we'll order tea," said Rachel. And for the first time in a long while, she didn't check how it sounded. She just said it. They sat by the window. No past, no future. Just 2 cups. The cold glow of a street lamp. And the quiet presence of someone who didn't need an algorithm to be real. Isaac vanished. Not literally, just stopped replying. Rachel didn't call again. She knew everyone who logs off needs to log into themselves first. But one morning outside her office, a box waited. No label, no wrapping. Inside, a tablet and a note. "Amma v.5 is shut down. All couples notified. The new build will have no emotional filters. If that angers you, good. If it makes you happy, also good. That means you're feeling, and that's all that matters." Rachel closed the screen. Her heart felt heavy, but truly alive. She stepped outside. Someone tapped her shoulder. "Excuse me, are you Dr. MacKenzie?" She turned, a stranger, ordinary, not from any match list. "I just wanted to say thank you. My sister opted out, and for the first time, she's crying, but for something real." Rachel smiled. "Then it's a good day." He nodded and left. She stayed. In the cold morning wind, among faces that passed her by. No match, no ranking, no script, but herself.